Do you believe in UFOs? And if you do, what are they doing here?
Do you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because the evidence.
What?
The evidence, the pictures.
So bring the evidence and I'll also believe. You see, it's not a religious question of belief or not to have belief. It's a question of simple evidence, as you have yourself suggested. And to sift an evidence and to verify the reports of the witnesses is an issue which varies from person to person. Some evidence satisfies some people very easily. They are called credulous people, who would believe in anything they hear if they want to believe. Some people are very strict in their scrutiny. They won't accept any claim unless they fully examine, analyze, and testify the evidence presented before them. Not testify, but critically examine the evidence presented before them before they testify to its truth. So you have already accepted it on the basis of some evidence. So far I have not found any definite positive evidence of the truth of the so-called phenomenon of UFOs. Some evidence is presented through television, but I know that television evidence is not at all worthy of acceptance because they have been playing tricks in the name of evidence in so many things. Only they want to present things which excite people, which thrill people, and for the sake of creating thrills, they know how to present these things in a manner as they become normally acceptable. But I have read books from the other side as well. I have read criticism against the claim that UFO, unidentified objects exist by scholars who have made researches. They have their story to tell. So before making up your mind so quickly, you better read both types of books. Don't just depend on the evidence presented through the television stories. Read literature. The books are already written by scholars who have prepared those books painstakingly, collecting material of all sorts. So this is a possibility as far as I am concerned. I don't rule it out. It is possible that something of that nature may have been happening. But what is the significance of UFO? Who is responsible for these? Why UFOs are not recognized by the big governments of the world? Why they do not make search into the phenomenon of UFO themselves and let the whole of the world know of what is happening? The question of UFO is left entirely to the area of fiction. In the scientific literature, you don't find UFO mentioned at all. Why not?
I've read a book, and it is.
Pardon?
I've read a book, and it is by a high standard author or whatever.
And what does it tell you?
It says that the government.
You see, the aliens which get out of the UFOs and get back after sometimes abducting a man or a woman and sometimes depositing him back, do you know that they have been described so differently everywhere? And the nature of their form, their body has never been defined properly.
In the book it has.
Pardon?
Well, in the book it also says
sometimes they are given some humanoid figures. similar to humans, with some extra features, some antennas jutting out of here and there, and spidery legs and things. All that is fiction. And how can they speak the language, our language? How can they communicate with us? What is the purpose of suddenly appearing and then disappearing very rapidly? What is the material they are collecting? And why do not they respond to any signals which are emitted by scientists of this world who are desperately attempting to establish contact with the aliens elsewhere in the universe? You see, millions of dollars are spent by America alone on such projects whereby constantly, day and night, scientific signals are emitted to the universe, to the entire universe, requesting in so many ways for a response. If there is an intelligent life elsewhere, they say, come on, tell us where you are and what is your form of existence. No response has ever been recorded so far. Who are these UFO people? Where do they live? They come to our earth and leave no message behind. That is also a question which has to be weighed on the other side, put on the other side of the scale before you make a final decision. So for story is good, enjoy it, but to present it as a solid fact of life, I don't agree with that. Thank you.
Thank you.